And that's all I'm going to say because I don't know anything about what this is, and he's incredible at describing it. So without further ado, here's Will with Machine Party.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm here to introduce to you Machine Party. Machine Party, if I had to describe it the simplest way possible, I would say it's a trading floor for parts and materials, industrial parts and materials, and then we monetize through a clearinghouse for invoices. So, how do I control this? Okay, so I'm going to boil industry down for you. Industry is at its very basic, and you can throw anything at me, I can pretty much boil it down this way. It's materials, processes, and parts. So everything through all the supply chain ends up in this way. And it's huge. So industry is really big, and we don't even know how many parts there are out there. There are 100 million parts, and it's really difficult to get them all into one place because it's evolving. And industry is it's just really massive, and there's no way to put all the parts together. So I'm going to show you one of my drawings. I build, in my other job, I build centrifugal casting machine equipment. And we export it all over the world. And so this is a drawing of mine. This is the parts list over here. This is just an assembly for this one machine. This machine might end up having 200 parts. So here we have the parts list, and these are all my parts and parts that are bought out. And so I have to get all these parts into place to build this machine. When somebody buys a machine from me, all they want is the machine. And when I order parts, all I want are the dang parts. So I really don't want to go and inquire about a bunch of parts all the time. It's really tedious. So what happens is, all those parts you see, basically I have to go out to 3 vendors for each part and get competitive inquiries for these, competitive quotes. So what do? I end up going to the competition, or the Machine Party competition, which is ThomasNet, Global Spec, Alibaba even. So these are vendor development sites. These are sites that are basically like old phone books. And so ThomasNet has been around since 1890, and it's still using the same model. They're basically charging the seller to get leads for people who want to buy parts. So the way we figured it out was that essentially when I need a part, it's news for somebody. It's actually really good news for somebody. It's news for the seller. It's something that we want to broadcast to the seller. So we're introducing the Machine Party Tweet. It's a Twitter type platform, and we call the feed the Meep. So this is and it's based off of hashtags, and the seller can go on and actually search through their parts. They can put their parts up there, and they can actually funnel out the buyers who are searching for their parts. Like I said, there are 100 million parts out there, but it's continually changing, and it's very difficult to put them all in one place. But if we use hashtags, suddenly when I'm searching for a part that I've got out of a catalog from 2000, and the vendor has actually changed the part number, they can follow that old part number, and it kind of smooths out the difficulties of finding these parts. So, with that said, that's all free. That's the freemium side. This is basically to get everybody to the site. Right now, the sellers are paying ThomasNet, they're paying Global Spec, they're paying Alibaba. I'm members of all of these sites. I get leads that then I have to pay for. They rarely actually generate a sale, but so what we figured out is the way we need to monetize is through finance, because the common denominator of all purchase orders is payment terms. And so what are the payment terms? The payment terms are the net 30 or the net 60 up to net 120, and this is the float. This is huge in industry. This is huge in business. Float on a balance sheet is actually, on a typical balance sheet, float is higher than your accounts payable, is higher than your bank debts. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to permit the buyer to choose their terms and the seller to choose their terms. We separate the terms. So the buyer presses buy on a particular quote that they like, and then they say, yes, we want net 30. And then we charge them, their liability starts at 0 or day 1, and we charge them interest through that day for net 30. So the seller, essentially this really makes cash flow management really, really simple, because suddenly your spreadsheets, you can control where the money comes in on your spreadsheets. The CFO of a company they get to choose when they get the money. And so the seller gets to say, I want the money at day 1, I want the money at net 30. And if they decide, they can actually leave the money in the system and make money on leaving it in for 120 days. So, like, this is a typical, this would be the buyer payment choices. So, notice we've got the greens and then we've got the grays. So we essentially, the material of Machine Party is data, and the process is crunching the numbers for credit ratings and risk assessments, and then the parts of Machine Party are the payment terms. And so we gray out the 90 and the 120 because maybe this particular buyer can't handle that, or maybe the risk is high enough that we don't want them to have that. So, you know, essentially there are 1,000 data points, more data points. We've been creating our data points over the past couple of months, and you know, I'll say it, we could be more competitive than a bank. So how can we do that? Okay, I'm at 6 minutes, and you know what? This is it. So industry is really, really big. Supply chains go really, really deep. There's a way to, industry is a big network. Boom, that's it.
All right, thank you. Now we're going to open up for Q&A, and you'll have to ask your questions loud because we're down to one microphone today. If you're sitting back, feel free to come on up and grab seats. We've got plenty of room. So try to get my attention. I'm going to try and keep the order of when people raise their hands, and then we'll go from there. So Larry, if you're something else, I guess it's right here. Go ahead. Yep.
When you're talking about this middleman financing, so I have buyer and seller. So buyer is supposed to pay seller in 30 days or 60 days. So are you assuming the risk for the seller?
Yes.
So they're going to get their money at term regardless.
Right. That's the guarantee. We want the risk. This is where we make our money. Surprisingly, we actually want to adopt the risk. We feel like we've got a better system to develop our data points than the banks. The banks actually, if I have a line of credit of $100,000 and I've got payables of $50,000, I'm going to go to the bank and say, give me $80,000 and pay down my $50,000. The bank doesn't know if that $50,000 is overdue, and we will. So that's where we decide to assume the risk. Our leverage is the network. Anyway, yeah. Yes.
Your social media website, how many users do you have now?
We have 3 users right now. We've got my company, we've got a couple buddies, and we're basically we're developing right now. End of the year, we want in October we're definitely going to go after it, and end of the year I'm hoping to get 80 users. That's kind of the goal. We're in development. Yeah.
Have you thought about how you're going to get these new companies? How you're generating leads?
Yeah, so our traction methods are multiple. So the meat of the site is inquiries. We need to populate the site with inquiries. There are 1 million government tenders out there all over the world that we can populate with, and we can draw the sellers that way. It's much easier to get a hold of the sellers than it is the buyers. Then the next method is through LinkedIn and get direct marketing to the buyers, and of course. I'm in manufacturing, 2 of the other co-founders are in manufacturing, and so we'll go that way. And then also typical old channels like trade journal advertisement and such. But right now, we're really limited geographically to Tulsa.
Have you looked at Google AdWords, like just basically advertising on Google?
So this is the deal. Google AdWords SEO is really, really difficult to do with this, and that's one of the reasons that our competition is lagging. They're not going viral. Okay, so Waypart is, it's got its algorithm. They're scraping all the sites. They're doing affiliate marketing. They've got 30 million parts listed on their website. However, when I know my part number, I pretty much know where to go to get it. So I don't go to those sites. And also, why would I go into Waypart and Google it when I can just Google, or and search it when I can just Google it? So it's, SEO is a real conundrum for this business model. But yeah, we're gonna do it, obviously. Yeah.
Will you be keeping specifications on the parts, or will the issue specifications to the vendors on that?
So we are, the meat field is going to entail, people can input pretty much whatever they want. Hashtag hydraulic valve. They can put the hydraulic valve part number if they have it. They can hashtag Parker, Rexroth, any of these makers of hydraulic valves. They can go the full kit and caboodle and put all the specs on. But this is where a lot of the difficulty comes in trying to get quotes for parts is, yeah, the specs are really finite, fine-tuned for particular parts. So oftentimes, a buyer is talking to one seller, and this is one of the reasons they only talk to one seller, is because that one seller is helping them out and helping them to get the right part. In this case, they're gonna broadcast what they know about the part, maybe even a photo or a drawing, and the sellers are gonna come to them with everything that they need to know about the part. So we're gonna streamline the workflow of the procurement department immensely. And of course, inside sales. Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
What's probably the biggest risk of doing this? What's your biggest hurdle that you think you have to overcome?
Biggest hurdle to overcome. Well, I mean, we're in development, so getting the site fully developed. Okay, so I guess the biggest risk is on the finance side. We're not going to do any finance for the first half of 2015. We're going to we've got some money to run through some finance, so we'll probably maybe make $100,000 work for us, but otherwise, we're going to wait until later in 2015 to turn on that switch. And also scalability with the finance side. Fintech startups scale a little bit slower than other startups. Anyway, yeah, so, yes.
The parts, it seems like we're talking about stock standardized parts. You also have company-specific proprietary print type stuff.
Yeah, so we'll do castings, machine parts, those unique parts that we design in-house or companies design in-house, and the stock off-the-shelf items. It's everything. Our meat field allows you to upload drawings, photos, and also we're not limiting the buyer and seller from communicating with each other. That's all. It's all very open. If they want to leave the site, in fact, they can leave the site. If they find a quotation that they like, go on your merry way and do business together. We're not concerned about that. That's so. And they need to discuss sometimes when they've got a unique part, the casting such as we have oftentimes. Yeah.
How do you see the maker movement potentially fitting into this? Right now, it's very much a business-oriented model. Is there a consumer version where it's, hey, I have a maker bot, I can make that part for you?
Right, it's big, yeah. So I see the maker bot movement or the maker movement totally ingrained in this. So what we're doing ultimately is Legoifying industry, and what the maker bot guys are doing, what that movement is doing is Legoifying industry. And I mean, I come from industry, so I know we've been doing 3D printing for a long time in kind of an inverse way in the casting arena, but I see the MakerBot movement as being like this symbolic movement where suddenly people have control of industry. The big bad thing that's been on the periphery of cities all their lives, and polluting. So yeah, it's kind of a symbolic movement. But yeah, these guys, that's one traction area that we're kind of going after, is the fab labs and the engineering departments and such at universities. That's we're trying to communicate with those guys.
So these market businesses can be hard to bootstrap. At what point, like how many buyers and sellers do you need for this to make sense as a business? Or is this the sort of thing where you're going to need millions and millions to get to the point where you have enough people that it's viable?
Well, okay, so what we're doing, I know it's like Alibaba wouldn't be useful to a buyer if they didn't have sellers on the site. And of course, this is one of the big conundrums of these sites, is none of these sites are very useful to the seller if they don't have buyers coming in. So what we've done, and where we're different is somebody uploads an inquiry, and we'll have, basically we're going to have feedback, or a kind of a relief valve, if you will, to show how many quotes or how many people are actually going after that particular inquiry. If we don't have critical mass on that particular inquiry, we've got our back office people to hunt down the people who need to quote on that particular inquiry. So that's the way we're kind of we're kickstarting the traction, we're kickstarting the viral growth, if you will. Yeah.
So do you maintain a database then of all these? Describe the database of what you are capturing.
Our database is capturing, first off, a buyer and seller can build a profile to build their credits. So there are a multitude of things that they can do to build their credit. Like if they want to put in their accounts payables for 5 years and their accounts receivables for 5 years, that builds a really strong node in the network. So if they don't, then basically we're just going to capture the inquiries that they're putting out, the size of those orders that they're putting out, how many they're putting out, the sector, of course, how many people are actually looking at those particular inquiries. The data is huge. So then the quotes and the transaction, and ultimately, if they choose net 30 and they go 31, if they choose net 30 and go 29, these sorts of things. All this type of transaction information. But yeah, the data is our material. That's what we're producing. Ultimately, if we can go down the road of bank partner, bank platform, selling credit information to banks, and so forth, or use it ourselves.
What do you see the benefit of being in Tulsa? Tulsa having such a strong manufacturing foundation. What makes you better?
It's great. I came back to Tulsa in December and realized this is the place to do it. I was going to do it in India. I live in India, or I've been living in India for several years, and starting up a manufacturing facility there. But I came back to Tulsa and I realized, man, this is we're really tied into industry. It's rather high tech industry at many levels, and high tech lends itself more to this. And I know a lot of people in industry, and so it just became obvious that this is the place to be. People understand you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay, so the seller's platform is the seller's dashboard. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Twitterfall, but okay, so Twitterfall is it's a platform in which I was introduced to it in the Egyptian Revolution, of all places. So I was working in Egypt for about 5 years, setting up a big factory there. So right before the revolution, yes, one of my buddies, he had command center control, and he had Twitterfall up on the TV, and basically the tweets came and they fell, they cascaded down the screen. And over here, we can search for that particular news. Tahrir Square, Egyptian Revolution, Mubarak, so, all these things. And basically, your tweets cascaded down the screen. So the seller's platform is totally modeled off that. They're basically searching the hashtags of, I sell hydraulic valves, I'm hashtagging hydraulic valves. Anything that somebody has a hydraulic valve need for it comes over. So they get those tweets, they get those inquiries. If they've got a very specific part number, yeah, they hashtag that very specific part number. In fact, people can upload all of their part numbers. For instance, like Granger, one of the big ones, they would upload all their part numbers and probably have a multitude of people in inside sales departments watching the meeps coming through their platform. So yeah, it'll go straight to the sellers, and the sellers will have to learn how to use it a little bit and follow the right hashtags. But we've got another feature where to kind of instigate viral growth, we've got a kick feature where if somebody, they're hard to find parts. There are parts that I don't quite know exactly what I need. I know it's a hydraulic valve. I keep going back to hydraulic valves. So I just type in hydraulic valve, this is what it's doing, I send a picture, I don't know exactly what the part number is, and I meep it. Somebody out there is following hydraulic valves, and they know where to get it. And so they kick it to that business. And that's, we'll get there'll be some credit towards that, and so we'll get people to do that. But that's kind of the crowdsourcing side of it. And yeah, they'll do kicks.
So, last question.
Yeah.
What can we as a community, entrepreneurship community, what can we do to really support Machine Party? What can get you to the next level?
What can you all do? Well, I've got convertible note paperwork in my backpack if anybody's interested. So yeah, we're raising funds right now. We're going through an angel round, and there's been a lot of interest, I have to say. So yeah, and also just, I guess anybody who's interested in using it, anybody in manufacturing, that would be great to do some initial. Yeah, sure.
How are you educating yourself? How are you reaching people?
Well, right now, the only people that we're really reaching are the people that I'm involved with. Yeah, so currently we've got alpha users. I've got, at the company that I previously worked for, or still do a little consulting with, we've got 2 buyers, and it's basically they're trying out the platform, and that's it right now.
All right, let's give it for Machine Party. All right. Let me pull up our next slides here. All right, my name's Dustin. I'm one of the organizers for 1 Million Cups. Feel free to grab some more coffee in the back. Grab a seat. There's still some seats up front here. Got a couple announcemements this week. The next work, HQ, has an Indiegogo campaign. Randy is here, I thought. There he is. Randy's been regular here at 1 Million Cups. It's a project he's working on, so definitely get on Indiegogo, check it out. Very cool project they're working on. There's a $1,000 giveaway, so if you're an entrepreneur, $1,000 is pretty attractive. The launch leader, they're going to help you launch your next product. Get on, there's more information on our website, 1millioncups.com. Score is going to have a borrower-lender matchmaking event. That is the 18th. Is that in 2 days? What is today? That's tomorrow. Tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get on Score's website. You can learn more information about that. Score's a great organization, really helping small businesses succeed. Pete and Penelope, we've talked about this a couple times. They have a kickoff party on Friday here at Foolish Things, 7 p.m. They presented probably about 6 months ago. Really cool startup. Tummel is going to be in Tulsa. They're an accelerator focusing on startups that help
urban focused areas. Really cool organization. They're going to be here next week. Check out the Minds website for more information about that. I know they're going to do office hours. They're going to have some public events. Lots of things going on there. That's the next slide. Strategy sessions with the Tulsa CEO. You can email Jessica Flint. Jessica, are you here? No. But her email's up there. It's also on the website. You can get on and check that out. Set up a time. Oklahoma's first developer boot camp, okcoders.com. So if you're interested in wanting to learn more about coding or wanting to learn maybe a new language or different things like that, definitely check out okcoders.com. If you'd like to learn more about any of these other things or would like to get an email, Barron does an awesome email every Monday with all the announcements, talks about the companies that are going to be presenting each week. So send an email to Tulsa at 1millioncups.com, subject newsletter, and we'll get you signed up on there. Barron's out of town this week. It's just down to Ben and I, so the B team's in, so hopefully we don't screw it up. Barron's in Minneapolis doing a music festival, and Tim is just finished, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro this weekend. Really excited, did that for charity, and he'll be back in the country soon. So, all right, next startup is a really exciting group that we're excited to have here. Zalongo is, did I say it right? No, I screwed it up. Okay. Really cool photo sharing, but with an emphasis on privacy. So we're excited to have them. So give a big welcome to Hal.
I've noticed a little bit of a problem, and that is that every one of us, probably in this room, has a camera in our pocket, and we're snapping away pictures of mundane aspects of our life. And it's getting a little bit out of control. And we're losing our special memories. You see, they're getting squeezed in between the hamburgers and the beautiful coffees, our weddings, our kids getting born. And it's getting a little bit out of control. And it's watering down our life experiences. They're all getting put on this same plane, and things are slipping through the cracks. So I'm Hal Gatewood. I created a fun and safe way to share real life with just your family. A study in the University of London asked 2,000 adults, what is the most important thing in your life? Do you know what they said? Family. That's right. I need to get a quick feel for my target audience here. How many in this room have a family? All right. Okay, this is going to be good. I guess most importantly, how many still like their family? Okay, not as good. All right. Well, Zalongo started. I married a lady with the last name Zalongo, and we were all over the United States and Canada, and we would meet for Christmas, and we would share wish lists on a website, and it was a great way for us to stay connected. And over the years, it just kept growing. And we realized we could do a whole lot more than just share wish lists. So that was started back in 2003. So we kept adding, this standard stuff like your photos, and you could comment on photos, and you could post videos, important memories. That's my daughter, and I'm in there somewhere. And you could post messages, all the standard stuff. But then we added some kind of family-oriented stuff. You always say you want to remember what your kids say, so here's a great way to remember what my daughter said about me. And you can post your family recipes. This is a very popular one, if you can write it down real quick. And no one can remember Mom's birthday, so there's a shared calendar that you can all have together. And the wish lists are still around. They just got an update with your clothing sizes and links and pictures, and it's a little bit more fun. I've always loved the idea of Foursquare. I didn't love the idea that everybody knew exactly where I was all the time. So just this year I added a check-in functionality to your family website so people can know where you're at. Kind of idea would be that your kids could check in places and you would know where they're at. There's also polling, so where you're going to go on your vacation, that's an important question. Or how late did I stay up launching the new site? That's also a very important question. And just last week I added a Dropbox feature, so you can share documents like your wills and fun stuff like that. So it's been growing, and these are kind of where we're at right now. Of course, there's also an address book for the family and child accounts for kids who can't log in. You can post stuff for them, update the wish list, and all the good stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with the site. We are designed to share. I mean, that's not going to change. We want to share with people. The stats prove it. I just think it's time that we take a little bit of responsibility and share smarter. I mean, it's going to just keep getting out of control. It's time that we actually share with people we care about. Most of our memories and important memories are generally shared with our families and very close friends. And so when we actually start doing that, you know, real life starts to happen. The funny moments, the intimate moments, they start to rise back up to the top. And they become fun again when you actually share them with your closest people and not 500 of your old third grade classmates and stuff like that who you never talk to again. And so there's kind of a there's kind of a revolution going on right now where we're kind of realizing that the value these public social networks are bringing to our lives is definitely not worth the loss of our privacy. And so there's a lot of niche networks popping up around, and Zalongo is going to be the main leader for private family sharing for those who truly care about their privacy. Thank you.
Welcome to the questions. Make sure you speak up.
I'll repeat them for you. So.
Awesome. Perfect. Does anybody have questions for everyone?
Yeah.
So we anticipate most families having 2 of those, because my extended family wouldn't necessarily want to share with my wife's extended family.
Sure. So my family has the Gatewood family website, and my wife's family has the Zalongo family website. And so you can actually upload your photos and beam them over between your sites, so you don't have to do it twice. And so there's that kind of functionality built in. So the idea is to keep it into your intimate circles and separate it as much as possible. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't repeat the question there. The question was multiple families, if you have your wife's family, your family, keeping them separate.
Along the same lines, is there a news feed where you might see things from your family and your spouse's family?
That's a great idea, yeah. There isn't currently. That one slide you saw looks like kind of a Pinterest style. So that's the main page when you land, right here. The question was, can you see in one spot all your families and all your groups together? It's a great idea, one that should definitely be a part of it. And so it kind of looks like this. You can filter on the type of content that gets shown, and it just kind of fills in there, and you can choose how many columns you want and stuff like that. But that's kind of your family dashboard, your global view of everything. You can find it out right here.
So you said you want to be the leader
Yeah.
in this industry. So tell me, what is your base right now? How are you planning?
Sure.
What's the plan to spread the word?
Okay, so the question is, I am the leader. No, you want to be the leader, and how am I spreading the word? So we've been around for a while. 2003 it started, and it's kind of been my hobby. It hasn't really been a business. And so last year I joined the Venture Spur program out of Oklahoma City, and that's when I kind of learned that it could be a business. And I'm a technical guy. I don't really know anything about the business side of things. So they've kind of helped me grow and learn and how to promote it out there. And so right now, I mean, it's we kind of had there's one of my competitors called My Family. It's an Ancestry.com company. They shut down actually this month, and so it sent floods of users everywhere else. So I think one day in June I got hit with a couple thousand people very interested in having a family website. So that's what I'm kind of trying to build some momentum off of right now, and just going to events and people. I don't know if they're going out looking for this kind of thing very much. So there's got to be a little bit of education that's involved in it, just that, yeah.
Why did my family not work?
From what they say, I mean, this is just what they said. They are taking all the teams. They closed about 4 or 5 different groups. Why did my family close down was the question. And they took these groups and they wanted to put them all on Ancestry, their cash cows. So maybe there's not a market for this. The flood of users says there's some market. It may not be the biggest market, but there's people willing to pay for private sharing. So that's it. I saw a hand back here real quick. Yep.
Is it a subscription service then?
So it is completely free. It's always been completely free. I've tinkered with models of buying different modules and stuff like that, but now it's just ad supported with the ability to pay a monthly or yearly fee to hide the ads, which is what a lot of people have always wanted with Facebook and stuff like that. Is like, just let me hide the ads and get rid of stop tracking my life kind of thing. So that's the model right now, and I started that on September 1st. So this is about 3 weeks of running it, and I have 4 families that have paid for the ads to be removed. I think there was also a sub-question in here, how many people I have. And so I was trucking along about 2,000-3,000 families for the kind of the duration of the flight. And just this year, I think I've doubled that. So we're in the 5,000 plus range of families signed up. And this year, there have been more serious families because of the My Family closed down. So it's like, those people already got it. They'd already been using My Family. They knew what it was about. Someone even heard me and said if they had known about Zalongo sooner, they would have probably jumped ship a long time ago. So that was kind of a testament to having a website that wasn't built on the front page and stuff like that. And actually having mobile apps that are worth something. Yes, sir.
So what's the process of, I assume you register or invite family members? What's that process?
So the process of onboarding new members is pretty straightforward. I take an approach, before you would sign up and you have to do the verification with your email. So I stopped that because I want legit users. So you sign up, you have to confirm your email address, and you come back in and you add email addresses to your family website. You then notify those users that they have an account or they're available in your family, and they can sign up to Zalongo and they see, okay, I'm allowed to be a part of the Zalongo family or the Gateway family, and they can just accept or deny kind of thing. Before, if you log in, you would actually create them a Zalongo account without them wanting one, and that became a little bit of an issue because some people would prefer I want to create the account and then decide whether I want to be into the family. It's a little tedious, but once you get people in, it's good. Yes.
We have users that post on there and also want to be elsewhere for other.
Yeah, that's my mom. So the question was, do you have users that post in Zalongo and also want it elsewhere? Yes. So the idea here is that this is private. This is not going to go out, but people do want to share elsewhere, and I'm completely okay with that. My mom, I was just talking to her yesterday about this. She went on a trip, posted 40 pictures to Facebook. Okay, that's fine, of her trip. She ended up posting almost 200 on Zalongo. So it was because she felt more comfortable wanting to, that we wouldn't be upset that she posted a bunch of pictures with the family. And some things, she could comment different on something that just we were going to see, rather than everybody seeing it. And so I also think a little bit on that is that, I don't know if you noticed in Facebook, sometimes a wife will post to a husband and a husband will post to a wife, and then they don't realize that we're actually seeing that in our feeds as well. And so it's like, okay, those intimate moments, and there's some kind of sweet things that get written in those things, and you're like, oh, that's nice, I'm glad we're all a part of it now. And so we're losing that, and that's just out of control. And that's a fix on their part that could be done, but they don't care. They want that. They want as much as we can see, as long as we'll be there. And so that answers your question. There was a lot of talk while I went through VentureSpur about. A lot of people wanted it to be kind of this hub, like a Hootsuite, where I'd have this private part and then I could just send off photos to Facebook, to Twitter, wherever I wanted. And I was pretty hesitant on that. It's like, okay, we've got those tools, they're great. I kind of wanted to create a walled garden. I want to create a private space. I mean, a lot of people can do that, but I think we're gonna lose that private part of our life if we don't hide it somewhere. And it's an important part of our life, in my opinion. Yes, sir.
Had any content issues with your site? If so, how would you deal with it?
Yeah, people post porn. Because it's private, it doesn't go out. It's in the Amazon cloud with a private setting. And so if you shared the link, it would only last maybe a minute. And so, that kind of keeps us out. And I just delete it. I've got in my terms of service that I have the right to remove anything out of there that that shouldn't be a part of it. It's kind of it's a tricky subject. I mean, but that's just the stance I took on it. But it hasn't been bad, you know. Probably one user so far.
About private information, like social security number.
Oh, don't ask for that.
Anything like that?
I don't ask for social security numbers.
I know.
Okay.
Do people give away revealing information on
Do people give away revealing information? Perhaps. I'm not really combing through it. On the address page, you can put in your phone number and your address and birthday and stuff like that. But nothing. I'm not sure.
Have you been hacked?
I've not been hacked, but it's a concern, and you know, it could happen. I don't want to.
You said you've tested out different monetization models.
Sure.
Can you talk more about the ones that you've tested and
Yeah.
which ones worked, which ones didn't work?
So the question was, have I tested out different monetization models? The trick is always, it's kind of been that I haven't had a ton of usage. I mean, people have been there, but it hasn't been as steady as it has been lately. So when I tested stuff out, I tested out, you know, like you pay one time $5 for the, let's say you pay for the calendar, you pay $5 and your whole family would get that. And people actually were buying it. It's just, I wasn't going to make a lot of money that way because it was $5 for everyone in your family to have that. So it didn't really work out. And just, I don't know, it wasn't as fun as just logging in and having everything. You know, you'd log in and stuff would be, you know, blocked off and I wouldn't be able to use it, but I want to use it kind of thing. And it's like, okay, do I have to build in a trial period and then I've got to build in a check to make sure they're done with their trial period. And it was like, okay, let's just open it up, put some ads on there and you know, kind of deal with it. For a while, I tried the method of just, you got to pay to use it. You know, you can try it for 15 days and then you got to pay or you're done with it. And that also, I wanted people to use it, so I went away from that one. A few families did use it, refunded their money and went on my way kind of thing. But I was very hesitant toward the ad model. I just was tired of advertising, and for 8 years, I just didn't want to put advertising on it. And kind of adventure spur as well. They kind of said, hey, you know, you're going to have to make money on this at some point if you want to keep it around, which makes sense. You can't have it free forever. So all of it was coming out of my pocket, my hosting expenses. And then the flood of users came this summer, and it was like, okay, I'm going to have to start monetizing it so that people are going to start using it because it started to add up, you know, people sharing and uploading more stuff. So I think the past 3 months I've had like 3 times as many photos uploaded as the rest of the 8 years. So it ramped up there. So the kind of interesting part is I have added ads with the ability to purchase, and only 4 families have done it, which shows maybe people don't care that much. Maybe we're kind of sick of ads, and we're not sick of ads, we just don't look at them kind of thing. So it's been a good test. I'm making some money with the ads, and if someone wants to hide them, great, they can hide them, and it's a good compromise. Sure.
Are you doing like Google ads or are you selling your own ads?
Yeah, I'm doing standard AdSense on some pages, and then some pages I'm like linking to Amazon and link share and different. The question is what kind of ads I'm doing, and that's what I'm adding to. Very basic stuff, and they're kind of at the bottom of each page. I'm not trying to you know, put them out in the front. So if you were on that main page there, oh boy, I'm going the wrong way. It would just be at the bottom or on the side. It's not like top of the page blasting you. It's just, you know, I'm trying things out with it right now.
Yeah, my thought is since you're focused on families, it may be easier to go sell ad space to specific sponsors and get
Yeah, and that'd be great. I'd love to team up with like a Procter & Gamble or somebody big and just, yeah, you want to reach families, this is the place. But I think I have users for that as well. Yes, sir?
Is there any methods of organizing the data, for example, pictures into albums or just organizational?
Yeah, yeah. So the homepage is the big Pinterest-style calamity of everything. And as you see here, these are all your sections. So you have your messaging. If you click into there, you get a kind of different view from the Pinterest. And the photo albums, you click in there, and then you get like, you know, group it into photo albums and so on and so forth. This is kind of like the overview of what's happening most recently. And then you can dive in here and you can dive into the original section. These were created first, and the homepage used to be like your 5 latest things, but now I kind of turned it into a dashboard. So there's a little bit of duplicate information there because you can see everything on the homepage, or you can go into the section specifically. So the person who creates the account is the site admin. They can create other admins who can add stuff, but they're the only people that can add the family into it. Yeah. Right. So we've toyed around an idea that I think a lot of people want Facebook is like a veto button. And so if people share too much or share something, the majority vote can veto it off the site, which we think would be kind of fun. And if somebody gets added to the family, they don't want, like Cousin Fred's just crazy, we can veto them off the site. That's something that I'm not sure about, but it could be fun.
I guess I just didn't know if it was set from the beginning and how you would add in like marriages or things like that.
Yeah.
But then also as a follow-up to that, is there a limit to how many families you have?
No, there's
As
not.
a coach, this would be a cool thing to have for a team, even though we're not one family, to share photos and calendars and practices.
Yeah, I mean, I've toyed around as recently as this month that maybe I should just not just target families because it can be quite useful for groups and everything. And there are people doing that stuff. You can go to Shutterfly, you can go to other private group sharing. You can do that here. And I have users, I've seen their names pop in and say we just did our baseball team has a group in here and stuff like that. So I'm not against that. Great, when you use it more, use it. But I haven't started marketing towards those people. Yeah. When you click families up here, on your families list, it kind of slides down, you get a list, and you can jump quickly between the different families and see what each one's doing, which is where the idea of kind of a global dashboard where you see everything, and then you would filter, like you do the photos, you would filter by families, which would be an interesting idea. Definitely an idea that kind of came to me. Who wants it? Oh boy.
I noticed you had an app.
Yeah, we have a iOS app. I'm working right now getting a pretty good update, trying to get it in for iOS 8. I'm trying to build, it's just me, I'm a single founder company, so I'm kind of doing everything and running full-time work, so it's busy, but I've got a lot of requests for Android, and so that one's like halfway done, or close to. But yeah, I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. It's a responsive design mobile app, so it looks like you would here, which a lot of people, a lot of other my competitors don't have. They just don't have an app, or they got a pretty poor app. So, was there a hand over here?
Yeah, I had a question
Okay.
about the ringleaders. So who are the ringleaders? Is it the mom? Is it the grandmother? Is it what's the demographic,
Okay.
socioeconomic sort of makeup of those?
Okay. Who are the site admins or ringleaders, which I like that name too, or family jugglers or something like that. I'm not too sure. I haven't looked at it a lot. I'm gonna base my answer off of who's been contacting me, and it's been a little bit all over the map. There's the mom with kids who wants to share with her grandparents or something who don't want to get on Facebook, and there's been the older ones. I mean, it's really all over the map. I mean, I would say the majority is probably a middle-aged mother who signs up the family. And that's not scientific. Right now? All right. Okay, right here. Yeah. I had the benefit of one of my last jobs working in an SEO company out of Oklahoma City, and had some of the boys there just look it over and work it up. And so I rank pretty highly for family sharing, private family sharing, stuff like that. So and I also got smart when I saw my family was going down. I wrote a blog about it with my family replacement as the title. So you type in my family replacement in Google, I'm there, that kind of stuff. And I'm doing AdWords. So everything I'm making right now from families, I'm just putting right back into advertising. Yeah. You had one, or you?
Yeah, I'm curious how you interact with customers, how you give feedback, and how you put out tests, like you're doing. How do you put that out? Everybody would say, hey, I'm doing a test. You would say it's a test. How do you control the interaction?
The question is how do I interact with customers and handle tests and stuff like that. Right now, they're not really part of the testing process. They kind of put it out there and then see what happens. So there's not like a beta group I have set up right now. I would like to incorporate the people who are paying and hiding the ads as kind of beta testers. I'd like them, they seem like the ones who are, they're willing to put money into it, they're willing to invest in the architecture and everything as well, hopefully. So that would be an interesting idea of adding a new tab just for those people. As far as contacting them, I used to have an email address. When my family shut down, and I know a lot of people was getting way too much email, so I just shut that down. And right now I'm actually using public social media to interact with some people who have comments. So I'm just using a Facebook page and the writing on there. Right over here.
So while you were talking, you made one for my entire family.
All right. He said he's already signed with his family and he's purchased a subscription. Anybody else? Right here.
What happens when you have multiple families with the same last name? Do you have to do like Smith family 1, 2, 3 or something?
No, you can kind of do whatever you want. It used to be you would put in just your Smith as the thing, but I made this whole line is changeable. So if you had a baseball group, you just put in House Baseball Group or Smith family, you put whatever you want there. And the background is, you can change all your different themes, so you can create different looks for them. So like my Gatewood family has like a wood grain background, and my Zalongo is this red one, and you can kind of work it out that way. So, yes, sir.
A question and a comment. The question is, I assume that there's no public search. In other words, I can't go on there and search for your family website,
Yeah.
or can I request that I be added?
Yeah, so that's one of the things I've kind of been against as well, which the question is, can I find your family publicly so I can request to join it kind of thing? And you can't do that right now. So what I did add, and this is this month, I added the ability when you're adding a family member, you can create a public invitation page. So it says, Hal Gatewood invites you to the Zalongo family website, click here to join. So I create that page for you, which you would then email to your family or post on your family website. But because you've added their email addresses of all the people you want, only those people, if they register, will be able to join your family. So you could share that link, and people could sign up through it that aren't actually members of your family. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's no, other than that, there's no public-facing part of your website, which is quite requested. People want their blog to show up publicly as well, and this isn't going to be the service for that.
And so the comment is, this is a great idea. I mean, I can see, I'm probably our neighborhood association. This is exactly what we need with the way you're approaching. That's fantastic.
Thank you. He said I'm awesome and keep moving, and he's also going to be a paying customer.
Is there a way to hide some information? Like I saw you had a will up there. Would you be able to hide that from the kids in your family or other people who you might not want to be able to see that?
That's been brought up before. Yeah. Currently, you cannot hide any of the content in the family. Everything is visible to everyone that's allowed on the members page. So if you add someone, they'll be able to see everything. The problem that I kind of have with that is you're then segmenting your segmented family. So I've stayed away from that. I mean, you'd be creating a sub-family inside of a sub-family when you start hiding stuff from everyone. So it's an all-in, we're in this together kind of thing, which does involve, I mean, you could post a picture and then someone downloads it and posts it to Facebook. So it's not, I mean, it's going to involve the family getting the idea of privacy and doing it together, if that makes any sense. So the question was there like an aha moment of we need to share smarter and be concerned about our privacy? And the answer is no. I said that it's kind of started, it started in 2003, so we're talking 11 years ago. 11 years ago was before Facebook. 11 years ago was before YouTube, I believe. YouTube was like 2005. The idea of the Share Smarter was I was preparing for this talk, to be completely honest with you, and I searched what's going on with privacy right now, and I got those articles that you saw. And there's a lot of them. I mean, it's been going on for a while, and it's like, you know, this is a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem. The more and more people that get smartphones, like my granddad, you know, he's got a smartphone and he's posting pictures. Okay, so just I come from a Christian family, and we just value our privacy, I guess, more than some do. And people are now realizing as well, because all this stuff is happening, and data breaches, and them sharing their information and selling it off, that, you know, maybe we want to do that too. And I realize that this is not for every family. I'm not trying to force it down anyone, because I know that some people really just don't care. And my family is actually more like that than my wife's family. So my family doesn't use it as much as my wife's family does, the original Zalongo family. But the story, there's not a great story actually. That's kind of the part. It's just kind of naturally moved, and now it's become a little bit more. Another word. It's become more. Someone fill me in. The word is what? Necessity. Yeah, it's become more relevant. That's the thing with time. It's just because of all the things that happen. Okay, I got a confused look right here. Did you go right? Okay.
So our last question,
Okay.
what can we as the entrepreneur community in Tulsa do to help?
It's already kind of happening. Sign up. If you like it, use it. If you don't, let me know why. Do we have any Android developers in here? We don't? Oh, that's not good. All right, I'll see you later. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys.
So, thanks so much. That was great. If you guys are free next week, I think 9 a.m. on Wednesday, there's going to be an event here. 1 million cups. We'll be here doing it again. We've got 2 more companies presenting. We did have an announcement that we forgot to make, which was next Tuesday is TEDx Tulsa, and there are only a few tickets left, so it's about to sell out. Dave is presenting. Kinda is also presenting. Excellent. So make sure you get tickets before they sell out for next Tuesday, which is the 23rd. And we'll see you next week. 2 more companies. Make sure you tweet it to Tim and tell him how proud you are that he climbed the mountain. And if you're here for the first time, we had some technical difficulties. We'll have mics next week, and everything will be much, much louder, like a rock concert.